This is a stimulus check update and daily news report. Got some big update to share with you. Nancy Pelosi says that there is a deal to be reached with Manchin for the Build Back Better plan, as well as a few other deals that Democrats are trying to work out. I'll play the full video clip of what Nancy Pelosi says. Former White House advisors are saying that there needs to be a new COVID strategy. I'll share what that strategy may be. Also, we'll go over the latest stimulus check articles like this. Will there be a fourth stimulus check? 3 reasons why you might get another federal payment in 2022. It'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a more than mundane Monday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below. So former Biden advisors lay out a new strategy to address endemic COVID-19. Another article here, former advisors press Biden to change COVID-19 strategy, live with it, not shut it down. 6 doctors propose to get to a new normal. So that may be the new strategy moving forward, but I want to get your opinion on this. So what do you think about the zero COVID strategy versus live with it or have a new normal? Basically, what they're saying here is that COVID is like the flu. There's no way to get rid of the flu, but you could sort of help out with trying to help out the most vulnerable people in society. Is that a good idea, bad idea? It seems like the vaccines are sort of working. They're helping cases get less severe, but they're not helping with the transmission of it. So I want to get your opinion on that. Do you think we should live with it or shut it down? Let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments below. Also, according to Wall Street Journal, Omicron makes Biden's vaccine mandates obsolete. There is no evidence so far that vaccines are reducing infections from the fast-spreading variant. So that is the case in the federal vaccine Supreme Court case that's going on. So Biden's federal vaccine mandate for workplace is in trouble at Supreme Court. The pair of requirements, which would affect tens of millions of workers, have been in legal limbo since agencies published them last year. So basically, there was a bunch of federal vaccine mandates for the workplace that were presented in 2021. It's now at Supreme Court being fought, and it doesn't look good for that vaccine mandate to go through. So the latest on Friday is that the Biden administration is governing large businesses and healthcare facilities to move forward, putting on display the nation divide over COVID-19 vaccination and highlighting the latest surge driven by Omicron variant. So basically, the Omicron variant has put this whole vaccine mandate up in the air, showing that regardless of vaccination, people are still getting it. But let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments below. Do you think there should be a federal vaccine mandate, not be a federal vaccine mandate? Let me know your thoughts on that. When it comes to the Build Back Better and Manchin, so Manchin appears to back away even from his own Build Back Better offer. So there was a $1.8 trillion Build Back Better offer on the table that Joe Manchin offered, and now that has been taken back as well. So it looks like Joe Manchin just keeps backing out and backing out, but Democrats are not giving up yet. There is still a glimmer of hope. As Pelosi says, there's an agreement to be reached with Manchin on the Build Back Better. Here is what Nancy Pelosi has to say about that, among a few other topics.
It was a sobering first full week of the new year, marked by soaring COVID infections, miserable weather in most of the country, and painful memories evoked by the first anniversary of the January 6th insurrection. But it is a new week, and we want to turn our focus to what is ahead in 2022, particularly in an election year. And there is perhaps no better guest than the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. Good morning to you, Madam Speaker.
Good morning. Good morning to you, and Happy New Year.
A Happy New Year. I don't think any of us wanted to start with this Omicron surge that we are seeing happen. And I know in Congress you are seeing infections spike as well. N95 masks now being given to staff. How will this surge impact the work that you are able to do in the coming weeks?
Well, before I go into that, I just want to say that I come here on this Sunday morning, fresh from the service, celebrating the life of Majority Leader Harry Reid. 2 presidents of the United States spoke, the leadership of the Congress, the vice president was there, governors, everyone. But nothing was as eloquent than the voices of his children who spoke about their father. So being here on the Senate side, I have to begin by praising and remembering Harry Reid. COVID is the center of it all. It's about the health of the American people, of course, but it's also about its impact on our economy, the education of our children, the safety of everyone at work or in school. I look forward to our taking advantage of advances in science on this, that there is a pill that will be able to intervene in early stages, and we want to have the resources available to do that. The issues before the Supreme Court will be very important. Two cases there, one about healthcare workers, one about the president's mandate for going beyond healthcare workers. So there's a good deal, whether it's legislation for more resources, whether it's the court's decision and the rest. And also it's just about our own taking personal responsibility to stay safe.
When you say legislation for more resources, $6 trillion has already been spent over the course of this, been allocated over the course of this pandemic. Are you saying that you need more coronavirus relief, and will that go in the spending bill when government funding runs out next month?
Well, again, we have to protect the investment. It's there. Most importantly, we have to protect the health of the American people. Now, the administration has not made a formal request for more funding, but it is clear from the opportunity that is there and again, the challenge that is there from the resilience of this virus. And viruses the more they spread, they are transmitted, the more they mutate. So the good advice for everyone to get vaccinated, to be masked, to have spatial distancing, and the rest, and to be tested, continue to be important.
When you have this government funding deadline, the February 18th, I believe it is,
yes,
you have that opportunity to bundle together perhaps some other things here. Will you try to extend the child care tax credit at that time, since it has expired?
Well, that's a different bill. That is in the Build Back Better legislation. In the appropriations bill, which is to keep government open, we're in those negotiations now under leadership in our House of Rosa DeLauro, our distinguished chair of the Appropriations Committee, and we must find a solution. Now, I'm an appropriator. That's my culture in Congress, appropriations and intelligence, and I believe that left to their own devices on both sides of the aisle, the appropriators can get the job done. Something like additional funding can be in there. It can be fenced off for emergency, as would be COVID.
Right.
The child tax credit, we have to have that fight, that discussion in the Build Back Better legislation.
So you won't be pulling that out as any kind of standalone or any kind of attachment at this point?
Well, I would hope to, but in order to do this, in order to pass the Build Back Better, it's under reconciliation. We only need 51 votes. The bill that is the appropriations bill requires 60 votes in the Senate. So we have to do what is possible there.
Right. Well, Senator Manchin has made clear it's not possible at this point. It sounds like you are trying to revive those talks. Where is that? Have you spoken to the senator?
Well, I have spoken to the senator over time. I do think there's an agreement to be reached. It's so important for our country, whether we're talking about right now the need for child care for moms and dads whose children may or may not be in school. Child care is so important all the time, more important even now when we're talking about universal pre-K and child care. We're talking about the child tax credit. We're talking about home health care.
Right.
All of those things, expand the Affordable Care Act to include those who were not expanded under Medicaid in some of those states. But in addition to that, we see weather, and that weather is telling us that we must do what is in the bill to address the climate crisis, which is causing so many unusual natural disasters, not all of them from climate, but exacerbated by it.
Well, the White House is putting its shoulder behind this push for voting rights and election law versus Build Back Better in the coming days at least. I want to ask you, when you look around the country, there are many states that are changing their own election laws. And it could increase the chance for partisan interference when it comes to certifying an election outcome. Have you thought about that scenario for these midterm races? Would you commit to seating an elected person if their election is not certified in the state that they are elected out of? I mean, regardless of the outcome, will you seat them?
Well, first, let's get the bill passed. I think that the order of things is very appropriate. There's nothing more important for us to do than protect our Constitution and our democracy. What the Republicans are doing across the country is really a legislative continuation of what they did on January 6th, which is to undermine our democracy, to undermine the integrity of our elections, to undermine the voting power, which is the essence of a democracy. So we have to do that bill. There is no more important bill that enables us to support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
There are not the votes in the Senate for that at this point. So
well,
how
we just
will
have
you
to keep
handle?
working on that.
But have you
we just have to keep working.
Have you thought about that scenario? Because it is a potential scenario for these upcoming races where you have this dispute at the state level. How will you handle that?
Well, it isn't a question of how we will handle something a year from now. What is important right now is how we protect and defend the Constitution and the voting rights. What they are doing, and you pointed out very clearly, and I thank you for that, that they are not only suppressing the vote, they are nullifying elections, saying, well, it doesn't matter who gets more votes, it matters who the three people we appoint to analyze that, what they decide. We cannot let that happen. And in this legislation, thank you for taking us down this path. In this legislation, there are stiffened penalties for what they are doing to election officials, what they are doing in threatening elected officials. This is a very major threat on our democracy. This legislation is the most important, and we have to keep working in order to get the job done. Because it is as vital as any legislation we could ever pass.
What are your thoughts on what Nancy Pelosi has to say? Do you agree, disagree? So let's get into stimulus check news. So will there be a fourth stimulus check? 3 reasons why you might get another federal payment in 2022. At the moment, there is no general fourth stimulus check in Congress, not in the Build Back Better, not as a standalone bill. Congress members just are not on board with it yet. Things could change if there's a lockdown, although it doesn't seem like a lockdown is happening anytime soon. But let me know your thoughts. Should there be a bigger push for a fourth stimulus check? Should it just go out to fixed income and people who are really struggling? Should it be general like it was before? Let me know your thoughts on that. So it's basically saying some of the reasons: another economic disaster. So unemployment would have to hit the 52-year low, as it is at a 52-year low now. So it would have to be really small, abysmal poll numbers. So Biden's poll numbers would have to be really, really low and maybe up for re-election in order to get Democrats to stay in the House and the Senate to have majority. They could have stimulus checks again, as they did with the Georgia runoff. That's basically how they got, or how the Democrats got the 2 Georgia senators in the Senate, basically by proposing the $2,000 stimulus checks and pressure from voters. So basically saying here, reach out to Congress members to I guess have politicians push for a fourth stimulus check. I feel like a lot of people have done that. There's the 3 million signatures on that fourth stimulus check petition, and that hasn't really gone forward. I really think that there needs to be either an economic disaster or lockdowns in order for a general fourth stimulus check to happen. There's many different state and city stimulus checks still going on, a lot of different programs. For example, California, final stimulus checks of $600 and $1,100 will be sent out in 2 days to Californians. See if you're eligible for cash. If you live in California, have you gotten that second round of stimulus checks, the $600, $1,100 checks? Let me know down in the comments below. So I guess in 2 days, they're sending out the last of those stimulus checks to zip codes ending in 928 and 999. So we'll see what happens with that, and if there'll be more stimulus checks coming after that. That is all the stimulus news that I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's new tip of the day.
Hi guys, this is Bella. This is the tip of the day. I just want to tell you that you should always stay happy, no matter what. even if something really happened in your life. You should always stay like positive and happy and like just move on. And you should always be nice to others so others don't be like, you should always treat others nice because like you have to treat others nice for other people to treat you nice sometimes. Sometimes that happens. But it's really good to be nice to everybody.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate your support. So my wife just got back from a 24-hour shift. She saw me in the process of researching and trying to make this video for you, and she made me breakfast. She is the best. Big shout out to Christine, my wife. She was working 24 hours as a nurse, and she actually just brought me this breakfast here. Breakfast of champions. She made French toast and eggs. She's the best. Definitely love my wife for more than her cooking, for other reasons too, but she's the best. Shout out to all the wives out there and all the husbands out there taking care of your spouses. It's the best. Anyways, if you want to check out my latest videos, you could click on my other channels. You could click up here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Be safe. Thank you for watching.